In last lesson, we covered an overview of what due diligence is, why it's important, how much time to spend, and a few other resources. Today, we're going to take it one step further. We're going to discuss the number one reason why startups fail, the 5T framework for deal screening, and the free due diligence checklist. There are many resources out there that discuss why startups fail. However, today, we're going to cover the real reason why most startups fail. We're then going to get into detail of what the 5T framework is for performing due diligence. It covers team, tech, also known as the solution, TAM, the total addressable market, traction, and lastly, terms. Finally, stick around until the end as we'll share how you can download a free copy of our crowdfunding due diligence checklist. There are many potential reasons why startups fail. According to a CB Insights study of over 100 postmortems for different startups, here are some of the top 10 reasons. No market need, ran out of cash, not the right team, got outcompeted, etc. You'll notice that the percentages do add up to more than 100%, since many of these startups cited multiple reasons for the ultimate demise of their business. However, I don't think this is the truth. Coming from an engineering background, I was always trained to find root cause of an issue. And looking at any of these things, I don't believe that they are the real reason why most startups fail. No market need? Why was there no market need? Ran out of cash? Why did the startup run out of cash? Not the right team? Why not? If you continue to ask why to get to the root cause of these issues, I believe it comes down to one thing: the founder. And I'm not the only one who thinks this. According to Jason Calacanis in his book Angel, he said the number one reason a startup fails is that the founder gives up. This is one of the most crucial reasons why many early-stage investors think that founders are the most critical aspect to any potential investment. Think of a symphony orchestra, for example. You could have some of the best musicians in the world on each of their instruments. However, without a conductor to bring all those musicians and instruments together into a beautiful harmony, you would just have a cacophony of disjointed noises that doesn't sound very good. In a similar way, the founder of an early-stage startup is much like this conductor of a symphony orchestra. That is, they are the magic conductor that brings together all the disjointed pieces. And without them, no matter how good the team is, they won't find success. Now that we have an understanding of why the leader, either the founder or the CEO, is so crucial, let's take a look at the 5T framework and several other areas to look at during due diligence. First, as we mentioned, and the most important, is the team and the founders. Then there's the tech, the solution, the TAM, the total addressable market, the traction, and the terms. Remember, for early-stage startups, if the team, that is, the founder or the CEO, isn't absolutely amazing, nothing else matters, as they are the glue that holds everything else together. So we'll spend a little bit more time on the first T of team, since it's the most critical. Remember, this is the only non-negotiable of the areas, meaning that it gets a pass or fail. And if the team or founders is a fail, stop right there, because none of the other areas can make up for a weak founder. On the contrary, though, if the founder is amazing, it can make up for weaknesses in other areas. This is demonstrated by a fact that founders who have had past successful exits may often command higher valuations, even with a nearly identical idea to a founder who hasn't had a past successful exit. Statistically speaking, we took a look at many studies, and here is what some of those studies showed improved investor or exit outcomes. They saw improved outcomes for founders that have past successful exits, that is, sold a company for over $50 million or sold a company at a time it was generating over $10 million in annual revenues. Past industry experience, so if a company is trying to disrupt something in the biotech space, having past industry experience in the biotech industry can be important and significant. And also, one study showed that 90% of unicorn CEOs had bachelor degrees or higher. While the college dropout stories of Mark Zuckerberg, Bill Gates, and others can be inspirational, it's important to note that that's the exception and not the norm in building successful businesses. Now, it's also important to discuss where there was no positive correlation. For example, Founders who had past failures were not statistically more likely to have a positive outcome on their current endeavor. This is contrary to what some investors believe, since they think that founders can learn from past failures. Next, founders who have past startup experience, but as a non-founder. Remember, correlation is not causation. These studies are guidelines only. That is to say, they don't work in every single case. For example, it wouldn't have worked well for Mark Zuckerberg, Bill Gates, Steve Jobs, and others. However, as a reminder about some of these big names, there's a good quote from Peter Thiel. He says, "The next Bill Gates will not start an operating system. The next Larry Page won't start a search engine. The next Mark Zuckerberg won't start a social network company." That is to say, amazing founders are always looking for new opportunities, and they're all going to look different. There is no one formula that can choose the next Bill Gates, Larry Page, Mark Zuckerberg, or others. Thus, it's important to keep an open mind and not necessarily just look for the next Mark Zuckerberg or Bill Gates or Larry Page. So, how do you assess whether the team or the founders are the right one? We boil each of the 5 T areas into 1 or 2 big questions. In this case, ask, is this founder, 1, absolutely amazing, and 2, do they want to win against all odds? Some questions that can help assess that. Do they want to win against all odds? Is this someone that I would work for? Why is this the right person or team to solve this particular problem? Do they move quickly and fast? Can the team learn from mistakes, and are they open to feedback? Can they sell, both to investors, to customers, as well as to employees, since all these will be critical for ultimate success? Look for clear communications, honesty, and passion in the founder and in the leaders here. Other team questions and checks include relevant experience. Do they have past industry experience, startup experience, prior successful exits? Evidence of how the team will perform under adverse conditions. It's easy when everything's going well, but how about when things start to get hard? What is the long-term vision for this business, based on what the founders and management team have communicated? Using databases like Crunchbase, who are other notable investors, angels, venture capital firms, etc., since they are also part of the team? And similarly, who are board members or other advisors, and are they relevant? Last but not least, are team members and advisors full-time, or are they only advising or helping out part-time? All these questions can help you come to a conclusion of whether this team or founder is worth investing in. Next of the 5 T's is tech, or the solution. Ask, is this solution, 1, solving a real problem, and 2, is it at least 10 times better than what's already available on the market today? Some questions to help assess this include, is this a capital efficient or capital intensive business? What category is the solution or product? Is it jewelry, a nice to have, aspirin, something that helps numb the pain, or oxygen? Is it absolutely essential and critical? Also, is this solution a feature, a product, or a company? Is the product or service at least 10 times better than what's already out there? And how is the business defensible from competitors? Is this product or service in the hands of customers today? If so, is the startup interacting with those customers and soliciting and using feedback? And if the startup relies on intellectual property as a competitive advantage, do they have patents filed, and are other IP strategies in place? Lastly, unit economics. How are they going to make money off of this solution? And what are the potential margins? Next of the 5 T's is TAM, or total addressable or total available market. Ask, is the potential market for this solution both 1, huge, and 2, attainable? Ask, who are ideal customers? Is this B2B or B2C? Is there a clear path to scale the product? What is the go-to market strategy? What distribution channels are being used today or plan to be used in the future? How big is the potential market for this product? You can use services and look at growth forecasts for industries, such as from Statista. Does it have a huge upside potential, and is this industry growing? And who are other top competitors? How does this startup differentiate their business from other competitors? Also, potential exits. What are some long-term exit plans? Have there been similar exits by competitors or others in the industry, either by acquisition or IPO? And is there at least a 10x plus upside potential compared to the current valuation? All these questions can help you address what the total market opportunity looks like for the business. The fourth T is traction. So ask, is there 1, a proven need for this product, and 2, are customers willing to pay for the solution? That second point is critical. Just because there's a need doesn't mean people will actually pull out their wallet and pay for a solution. So ask, do they have sales today? If not, what have they done to validate their solution? And what evidence is there that customers are in fact willing to pay for this solution? Do they have letters of intent, partners, or other indications of market need? Look at the number of users and/or sales to date, as well as month-over-month growth rates. Also, just as important, depending on the business, can be retention. Are the existing users coming back month over month and staying with the product? Or is the business having to continually go out and sell more to get new customers? Is there evidence of whether the startup is still in push mode, that is to say, putting in a lot of effort to sell the product, or if the market is pulling for their solution, which could be a good indication of product market fit? And for software as a service products, look at CAC and LTV, customer acquisition costs, and lifetime value. Last in the 5 T's framework is the terms. Ask, are the deal terms 1, suitable for my investment portfolio, and 2, do they align both the investors and the founder's goals? Some potential questions include, will the current fundraising round suffice to reach the next major milestones? $10,000 may be nice, but if it doesn't get them very far, it could be just a waste of money. The type of financial security being offered. Is it a common or preferred share, a safe, a convertible note, or other? As we discussed in past lessons, especially for financial investors, you should look for equity-type offerings for financial securities compared to debt, which may have more of a limited upside, and thus don't align the investors and the founder's goals as well. For safes, are there repurchase rights? And if so, are you okay with the risk that the business could potentially buy back your investment at a later date for the fair market value? As an example, think if you had been an early investor in Facebook and then they decided to buy you out at their Series A or B. You would have missed out on the massive potential gains after, so repurchase rights can be a risk to investor returns. Also, is the type of financial security and the specific deal terms aligned with your own investment objectives? In valuation, as we'll talk about next lesson, is the valuation of this security reasonable for this particular business and the stage that they are currently at? Also, taxes have to come into the picture. Is this business structured as an LLC or a C corporation, and how are they taxed? Is this type of taxation acceptable for your portfolio and financial situation? And are you aware of any potential tax implications? These are all some examples of questions that you should ask when assessing the terms of a given deal. So, to recap the 5 areas of the 5 T's framework for deal screening, we have team. Is the founder amazing, and do they want to win against all odds? Tech. Is the product solving a real problem, and is it at least 10 times better than what's available today? TAM. Is the potential market both huge and attainable? Traction. Is there a proven need, and are customers willing to pay? And terms. Are the deal terms suitable for you, and do they align both the founder and investor's goals? To help you get started, we've created our own free due diligence checklist. This is what I use when screening my own crowdfunding investments. We go through everything from the initial screen and how deals enter your deal funnel to the more detailed due diligence questions that we covered in this lesson, and then finally, making your investment decision. We'll talk about what types of companies should never even enter your deal funnel, what you should look for at each stage, example questions to ask at each level, what red flags and potential showstoppers are. To get your copy of your free due diligence checklist for crowdfunding, create a free account at crowdwise.org/register. And once you have an account, just log in and click the Members Only page to download your free deal funnel checklist. You can find the Members Only page in the top right once you've logged in, under your account name and then Members Only. Next lesson, we're going to talk about the one part of due diligence that we've glossed over thus far, and that's valuation. We'll discuss what is valuation, why is valuation important, or is it in early stage investing, how do investors value businesses, and then valuation in equity crowdfunding. As a reminder, you're part of the Module 1 Level 3 Advanced Investor courses right now. If you haven't already, to get many of the supplemental resources for free, create your free account at academy.crowdwise.org. Thank you again. Make sure to follow us on social and subscribe to our YouTube channel for the latest crowdfunding investor weekly videos. We'll see you back here for the next lesson when we talk about valuation.